Hey, what's up guys? David Johnson here and welcome into this week's episode of Best of Skylum, a video that takes the best photos from this past week that have been shot in the field and then leveled up with Skylum software. Now, what is Skylum software? Well, it's really like a community of software like Luminar 3, Aurora HDR, and Luminar that photographers can use to create professional post-processing edits and then get back into the field quickly to keep shooting photos, which is what we all love anyways. If you want to see your photos featured on the Instagram account and even in videos like these, go ahead and head over to Instagram and follow at Skylum_global, and then every time you share a photo, use the hashtag MADEWITHLUMINAR. And if you want to try Luminar 3 for free, go ahead and follow the link below in the video description. Remember, the more photos that you share using the hashtag MADEWITHLUMINAR, the more chances you have of getting on the Instagram account and even on videos like these. And remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel to see if your photos made the cut. To see which photos made the cut this week, let's head into the list. Photo number 1 this week is by Johnny Forsman, and this is a really cool photo. It's got a lot going on here that we can dive into. Number 1, using leading lines, using the road, taking you directly into the scene that we have here. And what's really interesting about this road and this overall scene is that when you first look at it, you're thinking this is a black and white photo. This is really cool, moody. You got the mist going on in the valleys and through the trees, creating a really cool atmosphere. But then you're like, well, this isn't really a black and white photo. This is actually a color photo because you have the yellow lines going down the road, really like taking you into the scene, taking you down that road. If you ever have the possibility to shoot a landscape scene using a road leading you directly into that scene, I highly recommend doing that, especially roads with like lines, because that's going to allow your viewer to really step into that scene and imagine themselves in it, like they're looking through the windshield of a car, really diving into that landscape, having trees passing them on the sides, and really like driving down this mountain road in the winter. You can really like feel yourself in this photo. So a really good job by Johnny to put you in the scene and using the road as a leading line, really taking you into the photo. Photo number 2 is by Tech Shots, and this is a shot of a temple in Japan. And the name of the game with this photo and what makes it so great and so interesting is that he is using some really interesting windows to shoot through, and he's also using interesting negative space in the photo, really framing up the temple with some negative space, using that sky, but also using the sky and the edge of another building to really frame this temple in. And scenes like this are like exactly why I've always wanted to go to Japan and shoot. I normally don't shoot street photography, but this photo really makes me want to go like explore these areas and see what's there and really find interesting angles and perspectives that you can create on really classic locations. So photos like this, like you see a lot shot from way back, well, getting up into the scene and really shooting through windows and negative spaces and framing up your subject properly is really what it takes to make a great photo. And he says in the caption, like, just trying to find that right angle. I think you did it perfectly, man. All right guys, photo number 3 is by William Yu Photography, and we're staying in Asia with this one. And this is a really classic location, a classic type of shot. A lot of people have shots like this from this location in China of like the old school fisherman scene with the mountains in the background. But what's really interesting about this is angle of the shot and angle of your subject and perspective on the scene. And using something like this, like a filter with Luminar 3, like adding some color and atmosphere to a photo, really brings this subject out along with the perspective that he used. So he's shooting at an angle where you take the camera a little bit higher off the ground and shooting a little bit more down at the subject. And what that has done is it has secluded the subject away from the horizon line. So when you have a subject like this, you want to feature them in negative spaces or an area where you can easily spot the subject and not have them overlapping with the horizon line. and this does a really good job of using that. And then of course, using softwares like Luminar 3 to really level up this photo and really complementing the perspective that he chose to shot here really complements the subject and the overall scene very well. If you're using Luminar 3 looks, comment below on which look is your favorite. We'd love to hear which ones are being used most, which ones you guys love most. Speaking of looks, photo number 4 is by Norse by Nature on Instagram, and he really shared this cool photo. Like, this is framed perfectly of this wolf. And what he's done here is he's used the rule of thirds very well to frame up this wolf and have it in an interesting placement within the frame, kind of putting it off to one side and having it right on that line of thirds so that it makes the subject more interesting. Now, if the wolf had been pushed to the center of the frame, it'd be a little less interesting. And what he's done here is created like this mysterious scene using a look in Luminar 3. I think the look and the photo and the subject placement like all come together to make a really great image that's well worth showing off, and obviously made the list of best of Skylum this week. So very well done by Norse by Nature, framing up your subject and then finding a look that really complements that subject very, very well. Solid job. Hey guys, let's take a quick pause right here and think about which one of these photos in the list so far this week is your favorite, which one resonates with you the most, or even which photographers do you want to see on this list. Go ahead and comment below with all those thoughts and comments that you have. And also a quick reminder, if you want to have the opportunity of seeing your photos on these videos and on the Instagram account, head over to Instagram and follow at Skylum_global and use the hashtag when sharing, hashtag MADEWITHLUMINAR, to see your photos on lists and videos like these. Rolling on with the list, photo number 5 is by Joe Nguyen, and this is a solid shot from Venice, Italy. Venetian sunrises are magical. I've always wanted to go to Venice. It's just this really unique location where the city is actually just right on the water and you have the boats going under bridges. Magical city. I've heard a lot of great things about it. And this Venetian sunrise in particular is a really solid shot. Number one, it's not always easy to shoot directly into the sun for sunrise, especially when it's coming up. But I think Joe has done a really good job here of framing this up. I mean, he even has a little bit of lens flare coming in, but it doesn't ruin the photo. It like complements the photo a little bit more with that sunrise, bringing more attention to the color in the sky. And then one of the things that I love about his composition here, composition is the one way you can level up your photos and make them look better for free, so always invest in composition education. What he's done here with this composition is he's placed this railing on the bottom left corner. It almost makes you want to reach out and like grab onto the railing and really take this scene in and make you feel like you're actually there. That's the one thing you need to do as a photographer to really impact the interest level of your photos. Make your viewer feel like they're already in the scene and like reach out and touch that railing. It almost makes you feel like you're actually there, taking in the sunrise, having that sea mist on your face. You can almost feel the breeze coming in and hitting your skin. Photo number 6 is by Nico Circus. What is interesting in this photo? It's a nice night scene in Argentina. How do you level this photo up? If you're ever in a city at night and there's a lot of traffic and you're confused about a composition, always think long exposures. What they have done here is taken long exposures to lengthen light speeds on the cars that are passing by the camera and really using those as the leading line and the foreground going into the frame, leading you to the statue, leading you to buildings within this frame, leading you to the overall subject of the photo, which is the city itself. Now, when you're doing this, always be careful of traffic. I've actually tried this technique in France, right in front of the Arc de Triomphe, and almost got hit by a car. So please be careful if you're trying this, and always be aware of traffic going by beside you. But think long exposures. Think of how you can use the movement of lights to really lengthen that exposure, track the taillights or the headlights of cars going by you, and use that as an interesting element in your photos. Awesome job, Nico Sirkas. Bringing in the tail end of the list, photo number 7 is by Dmitry Nizmayanov, and this was shot, this is almost like a high-key photo. And what a high-key photo is using a lot of white and overblown areas in your image, but then really having your subject in a little bit overexposed or proper exposure. And maybe this wasn't a high-key photo specifically, but it's using a lot of white to draw interest. This makes your photos look really clean, really crisp. It goes really well with designs in architecture and nature. And what's really great about this is he's used circles, like bringing you in almost like a bullseye, bringing you in from the outside and honing in on the lower elevation of this architecture building, saying like, this is the outside, next level, this is the subject, that main circle in the bottom of this image. And it also uses a bird's eye view, which is a unique perspective. So always be looking for those really unique angles, perspectives on things that you can use to frame up a common view, but then use that framing to make it unique and interesting to the viewer, make them pause and be like, whoa, what is this? Maybe a mall, it may be a shopping center, an office building, but this is a pretty cool way to frame this up. Awesome job by Dmitry. That's the top 7 photos this week, guys. Remember, comment below on which photo was your favorite. We'd love to hear which one was your favorite and why. And always remember, if you want to see your images on this list, head over to Instagram, follow at Skylum_global, use hashtag MADEWITHLUMINAR when you post, and you'll have the opportunity of seeing your images on videos like these. To see them, be sure to subscribe to this channel. And always, if you want to try Luminar 3 for free, follow the link below in the video description. My name's David Johnston. If you want to follow my YouTube channel, that is also linked below in the video description for you to check out, where I help you improve your landscape photography with weekly videos on in-field and post-processing tutorials, as well as gear reviews. So if you're into landscape photography, check that out. So who's going to be featured next week? It could be you if you follow the Instagram account @Skylum_global and hashtag MADEWITHLUMINAR when posting. Find out next week.